Hey guys, welcome to our Wednesday show of Seller Sessions. My name is Melissa. If you've been following me the last few weeks, we're going to have a weekly show here where I will host and talk to you guys about some high level Amazon PPC topics and see if I can answer any of your questions. So let's go ahead and get started with our 5 tactics for dominating Amazon Prime Day. Amazon Prime Day is next week, July 16th and 17th. Hopefully, you guys have been preparing for it and you're ready. Personally, I was really surprised at how late they announced it publicly. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Usually it's about a month out. And this time I think it was about 3 weeks, maybe even shorter. So hopefully you guys have been, anticipating this big July shopping event for Amazon. And let's talk about how you can make the most of it with your Amazon account. So one of the first thing that I want to talk to you guys about is inventory management. So inventory management, you want to ensure that you have enough stock and that you've managed logistics successfully or efficiently up until this point. Obviously, if you send anything in right now, it most likely won't be checked in for Prime Day. But if you send anything in right now, it could help you after Prime Day if you were to, sell a lot of units and have all of that ready to go for after Prime Day. So think about that as you're planning your next shipments. But you want to make sure that you're doing that in a really strategic way to ensure that you're not going to run into long-term storage fees and things of that nature. But coming into, August, September, if you wanted to build up some inventory going into holiday season, or if you have a fall product, might be a good time to get some of that stuff sent in. If you are low on inventory for anything, it might be a good idea to pull back advertising for that over Prime Day or not offer as much of a discount. You really don't want to run out of inventory on any of your products, especially your best sellers. When you run out of inventory and you have to turn off your ads, it's pretty detrimental and it's harder to get those going again. So you have to remember the amount of time that it took you to gain velocity on those ads to begin with. And then, you're going to have to do that all over again and then maybe add another few more weeks to get that back to the stage where it was if you're waiting weeks to get those going again due to being out of stock. So don't sell yourself out of profit by discounting so significantly that you're going to run out of inventory there. So it's another point in managing your inventory for Amazon Prime Day. You do want to utilize this boost in traffic for aged inventory. So that's super important too. If you have aged inventory or you're already experiencing the long-term storage fees or any of the new fees that Amazon has in terms of inventory, now might be a good time to discount that so that you're not paying into Amazon and you have a little bit of cash flow coming in with those. Might take a loss on some of that depending on what your margin is, but be aware of what you have in there for long-term storage fees. I would look at anything over 90 to 180 days. That 181, you're definitely going to move through some of that stuff. So it might be worth looking at like an outlet deal to launch if it can do it over Prime Day, a coupon, or a Prime exclusive deal, whichever works for you and your pricing. So let's get into pricing next. Point number 2, pricing strategies for Amazon Prime Day. You really want to set a competitive price and offer attractive discounts, but make sure that it makes sense for you. So you're going to have to offer something. Like, I just want to make sure that that's super, super clear. You have to offer something if you want to do well for Prime Day. All the shoppers are looking for a discount of some kind. They're looking for that green tag, that orange tag, that red tag, whatever colors Amazon's deciding to go with. I know coupons right now are green, but you want that tag, especially if you're advertising the product, because that's really going to catch the eye of the shoppers. So you want that tag on there. Doesn't matter if it's $1, 10%, could be something really small. Make sure that it's makes sense to your margin, and then make sure that you have that on there for anything that you're pushing with advertising over Prime Day. If you are not discounting your products at all, you're not doing a sale, Prime exclusive discount, coupon, you're not doing anything, lightning deal, nothing, I would not push those for Prime Day. If you want to advertise the same way that you have been, keeping your bids and budgets the same as they have been, you could certainly try that. But most likely your competitors are going to be offering significant discounts. Consumers are probably going to purchase theirs. So I would really take a look at what makes sense to spend money on over those 2 days and what doesn't. So just make sure that you're looking at all of those numbers in terms of what pricing is and how competitive you can actually be. So coupons. Biggest thing with coupons and Prime exclusive deals is coupons, they've changed. So you have to make sure that you're in line with their pricing requirements. You can't just put a coupon on anything anymore, which is kind of frustrating because, we used to have that time frame where you could have a sale on it at launch and then you could still put a coupon on it, even though you had put the price back up. They're not allowing that anymore. So if you've submitted coupons or Prime exclusive discounts, make sure that you are checking those I mean, frequently. Make sure that they haven't been suppressed, make sure that they haven't come down, whatever the case may be. If your coupon's approved, once it's approved, I don't believe, and you don't quote me on this, but I don't believe that they can suppress it. Obviously Amazon can do what they want, but with the PEDs, you need to check your statuses often. You could have submitted these weeks, months ago. They can suppress these kind of at any point in time. It was very frustrating last year working with a few clients that had some pricing issues, and they were seeing a lot of suppressed stuff like the day before or even during Prime Day. And then it takes, a good 6 hours for those to get back going again. So make sure that you're looking at those and you're paying attention to what's going on with your Prime exclusive discounts and your coupons to ensure they're running. Check them first thing on Tuesday, maybe do a test run on Monday. Completely up to you what you want to do with that, but just make sure that they're on. So like I said, discount of some kind is very, very important. You can also do, the sale price. You can get the strike through with the sale price. If you've been selling at a higher price, you can do that just through manage inventory on your items. Effective effective advertising strategies. So my biggest thing with this is my biggest piece of advice is trust what works. Trust what's been working for you for the last, 4 weeks, 6 weeks, 8 weeks. Trust what people have actually been purchasing when they're searching and purchasing your product. So where are you actually getting your conversions? That's where you need to focus your ad spend on. So we'll get into a few things with budgets and bids here in just a second, but you need to make sure that you're not testing a bunch of new stuff that you just want to see if it'll work. This is not the time to do that. You're going to be testing at a much higher CPC than normal. You're going to be testing it amongst consumers who are literally just like click shopping any kind of discount that they can get. It's really not the time or the place to do that, because even if you do it for these 2 days and it does well, and then you take your discount off, it may not do well later. And you'll be convinced that, oh my gosh, this does so well on this keyword. Well, your ego will get in the way, and then you'll be spending a bunch of ad money afterwards when you don't have the discount on it. So biggest thing is just make sure you trust what works. Make sure that you know those keywords, and make sure that you're going into that, feeling really confident in what you're doing. I always say budgets over bids. So unless you're really trying to push something, it's a new product launch, maybe it's aged inventory, whatever the case may be. I know Amazon always tries to push increased CPCs and increased bids. They even add that little, Prime Day suggested bid drop down so you can see how much they want you to increase your bids to. To be perfectly honest with you, a lot of your competitors are just going to bid what they can. They're not going to go off of that recommendation. They're just going to, if they want to be at top of search for something, they're going to bid a really high dollar amount. And that's not going to be taken into account in the suggested bid range. So make sure that you're confident on your keywords. I always say, again, budgets over bids. So if you're going to spend additional money, spend it in budgets. Increase your budgets, do it throughout the day, check those and see what's going out of budget, see what's actually selling through that day, and see what you're actually getting ordered. Different time zones, which is really nice. So we can have somebody on all the time for Prime Day, which is, really, really great for our clients. Prime Day it's a big deal. It's, not, maybe the biggest day, but Black Friday obviously comes up to it too. But as far as the middle of the year goes and trying to move inventory, this is a really huge couple days. So again, budgets over bids. You want to check early and often. Even if you have somebody, like you have an agency working or a VA working, just make sure you're checking in every now and then. Check in with your agency, check in with your VAs, whoever you're working with, your partners. Send them an email. They may not get back to you right away because they're so busy with Prime Day, but just make sure that they're aware that you're aware and everybody's checking in on things, so you can have a really successful 48 hours. Data-driven decisions. So that's kind of the biggest thing that I take into working on an account is making sure that the decisions that I'm making are driven by data. So I've seen the data, I've looked at the spread, I've looked at the reports, I know what's working for this product or this account. I want to make sure that I'm really confident and aware of that. And then, like I said, trust what works. I'd already talked about this being a risky time to test. And you want to also, just a little tidbit here, look at the brand analytics ranks from last week. So the brand analytics ranks from when Prime Day was announced, and you can compare it to, if you want to stitch this together in a spreadsheet, you can compare it to the week prior. Of your keywords, where did you see like a big jump in brand analytics rank? Where did you see a big jump in search volume? If you're using a different tool to look at that, that's what people are looking for in terms of a discount. If your keywords are included in that, that's where you want to put a discount on that product. People are looking for it. Make sure that you're really competitive because you should do well there. That's one way to kind of, judge shopping trends of what's going to happen over those 2 days. Now, what you've probably seen recently is a lot of clicks and lower conversions. So a lot of people right now, and I'm of course guilty of it too. I don't I don't click on the ads, but I do some shopping around and I add it to cart because Amazon does this really great thing. If you've not seen it yet, where if the price changes of anything in your cart or your save for later, they'll tell you exactly how much it's changed by. So on Tuesday morning of Prime Day next week, I can just hop into my Amazon cart and say, oh, well, this one's discounted, $10 or $15 or awesome. I'm going to buy this. It's all right there ready to go for me and I can check out very quickly. So having it all on there and ready to go is what a lot of shoppers are doing these days. So make sure that if you're seeing those clicks and not conversions, that doesn't mean that those are bad keywords or they're not converting keywords. You really need to be patient and wait till Tuesday for that to come in. Now, the attribution window, of course, is up to 14 days. So it could attribute back. You'll see some changes within your ads, ad metrics, but it's just kind of the way that a lot of people are shopping now. So something to get used to. Once Amazon Prime Day is announced, you're going to see a lot of those clicks and lower conversions. I have heard the strategies, or I guess I've tested the strategies too a few years ago of putting a really big discount on it going into Prime Day so you can establish yourself really well. A lot of consumers think that they're going to get a better discount on Prime Day anyway. You're almost better off stabilizing yourself where you're at, making sure that you're staying competitive there, and then really hitting it hard on Tuesday and Wednesday. So making sure that you have enough budget in place. If you want to increase your bids a little bit, you absolutely can to be more competitive, but having a budget throughout the day and being able to advertise throughout the day is a pretty big up in comparison to just having higher bids for the morning or higher bids for a couple hours. Really having that advertising budget throughout the day is going to win you a lot more conversions than, a shorter period of time, because people are going to shop throughout the 2 days. They're going to be looking for constant changes in the discounts. So that's the suggestion that I always make, or All right. And then last one here, enhancing customer experience. So what you want to do is make sure that you have a few things ready to go. If you've got somebody that handles your customer service for you, have just a really quick 10-minute meeting with them to say, hey, these are going to be a few, afterwards, going to be a few crazy couple weeks. We're going to have some returns come in, obviously, because that's just the way that consumers are on Amazon. Make sure that you have some messaging templates already ready to go. So anything that they respond to you with, that they're sending to you, you want to make sure you have something, in the works that you can quickly copy paste to them to get back to consumers efficiently. Make sure that it's, short to the point, asking the questions that they need to ask, and make sure that it sounds, conversational and personal and not super robotic. So you can use ChatGPT for it to come up with it. I usually change a few things within there if I'm using that, and just edit it a little bit so it sounds more, tone of the brands that I'm working with, or even myself. So make sure that you have those ready to go if you're handling those yourself. Otherwise, meet with whoever is handling that customer service for you, and make sure that they have a plan in place for those. So again, like I said, be ready for returns, and then setting up the review automator. So whatever software that you're using, I know there's review automators everywhere. You want to make sure that you are having that set up and ready to go for Prime Day so that those automatically go out afterwards. You can get a ton of reviews from Prime Day. Hopefully they're all good reviews. They may not be, but you want to make sure that automator that is Amazon TOS compliant is set up and ready to go. So double check all of that, make sure that the wording is correct and the way that you want it to be, so that when you sell through, a ton of that stuff, all those emails are going to go out automatically for you. So those are kind of my biggest things is, you want to make sure, like I said, inventory management, don't sell yourself out of profit, pricing strategies, make sure your coupons, your PEDs, are in line. Make sure you're checking them during Prime Day, all of that, so that they're all enabled and on there. And then also double check your listings to make sure that it's showing. Effective advertising strategies is budgets over bids, check early and often. Make sure you're making data-driven decisions, trust what works. Again, it's a risky time to test that. And then make sure you have customer success and customer experience ready to go for after Prime Day. So preparing a little bit before, kind of busy during, and then make sure that you're prepared for after, can make a very successful Prime Day for you. So really looking forward to those next few days and getting all of that going. So if you guys have any questions, please go ahead and put them in the comments, and we will see you guys on the other side of next week.